Your photo was shown in front of 9 powerful people. And all of them said the same shocking thing. The moment your photo appeared before them, silence fell across the room. 9 powerful figures, each with their own secrets and shadows, leaned forward at once, their eyes locking on the same image, your face. It was as if time itself had paused, every second stretching longer, holding back the words that were about to change everything. One by one, without hesitation, they each repeated the same shocking statement, as though an unseen force had pressed the words into their mouths. It wasn't a whisper, it was a declaration, sharp and undeniable, echoing in the air until it felt like the walls themselves carried your name. No disagreement, no doubt, just perfect, chilling unity. What they said wasn't ordinary. It wasn't casual. It was the kind of statement that marks destinies, the kind that carves futures into stone. Each voice carried weight, and together, the 9 became a single storm of certainty. They looked at each other, and in their eyes burned a knowing, something that has been hidden from you, something that now races toward your life without pause. From that moment forward, nothing about your path remained untouched. The air around you thickens with unseen threads, pulling you closer to a truth that has been waiting, patient but unstoppable. The 9 did not simply react. They confirmed, they sealed, they aligned with a force that refuses to be silenced. They did not argue, they did not look away, and none of them reached for a second opinion. The room had the heavy stillness of a verdict, the kind that does not need a gavel to land. Your name hung in the air like a seal pressed in hot wax, cooling into permanence. The first figure placed a hand over the folder that carried your details, yet he didn't open it, as if paper had become irrelevant. He spoke your full name with a calm certainty that cut cleaner than any shout. When he finished, the others nodded, not as followers but as witnesses to something already decided. The second figure tilted a pen until its shadow crossed your photograph. Her voice was steady, trained to command even storms, and yet there was something deeper beneath it. She repeated the same line the first had spoken, and when her words landed, a subtle chill moved through the room like a quiet tide. A third leaned forward, the kind of person who could turn a city with a call. He didn't add a single extra word, because none were needed. He simply affirmed what the first 2 had declared, and for a moment it felt like the ceiling dipped closer to listen. On the long table, a glass of water developed a fine web of rings. The fourth figure rested 2 fingers on the wood, absorbing the echo as if measuring the truth by vibration. He kept his eyes on your picture and confirmed the statement again, a fourth pillar added to an unshakable frame. The fifth had a face known by millions, practiced at hiding emotion behind immaculate control. Still, when she spoke the line, something softened, like she had seen this before, in a different city, under a different name, and knew how it always unfolded. Her gaze did not leave your eyes on the print. The sixth carried a weathered calm, the patience of someone who has outlasted storms and seasons. He did not rush, he did not dramatize, he just anchored the verdict the others had set. The repetition did not weaken the claim, it deepened it like an engraving. The seventh offered no preface, no explanation, only the truth being born again and again. She slid your photograph back an inch, then aligned it perfectly, as though the exact placement mattered. It did. Everything mattered now. and every small movement was a signal. The eighth paused, not for doubt, but to mark the gravity of the moment. Her words came out like a steady drum, a pace that promised follow-through. When she spoke the line, it felt like doors far away unlocked in answer. The ninth took the longest silence, letting the room breathe until it could hold no more. He looked at each of the others, measuring for fractures and finding none. Then he delivered the same statement, and the silence that followed did not feel empty. It felt appointed. There was no applause, no dramatic music, no press of cameras at the glass. Only the truth, heavy and luminous, gathering substance as it passed from one authority to another. 9 agreements formed a single thread, pulled tight enough to draw your future into shape. A document lay waiting at the center of the table, untouched by all 9, as if they knew it would reach you without their signatures. The words they declared carried the force that signatures try to imitate. Paper could catch up later. Destiny was already moving. A messenger stepped into the corridor outside, unseen by the 9, holding a sealed envelope with no stamp and no return address. The seal had an embossed mark you have dreamed of before, though you won't. Elle realized that until you see it again. The messenger did not knock. The moment was not yet yours to receive. Down the hall, the lift opened with a muted chime, and a draft pushed under the door, lifting the corner of a thin page. Every little thing was aligning, even the air choosing a direction. You have been pulled into currents for weeks, and this is why. What the 9 said about you has the weight of recognition, not prediction. They did not invent a crown where none existed. They pointed to one already forming above you, clear as daylight to those who know where to look. Their words were not a gamble. They were a reading of a tide already turning. In the city outside, 3 separate paths began to bend toward you without their owners noticing. Someone you do not speak to anymore felt an unexplainable urgency, a tug to reach out and then hold back. Another person you have not met yet changed a small plan that will bring their steps within sight of yours. Meanwhile, a room you have never entered is being prepared, with details so precise they could not be random. A seat is set, a light is angled, and a thin velvet case is placed under the tablecloth, as if a moment needs a home before it arrives. This is not theatrics, this is choreography. Back with the 9, the first figure finally slid your photograph closer to the untouched document. No one spoke now, because the words had already done their work and repeating them again would only dilute their edge. Silence, when it holds a destiny, is sharper than a shout. A clock on the wall advanced by one measured tick, and nothing in the room broke the rhythm. The decision was not a decision anymore. It was a revelation given voice. What remains is delivery, and delivery always finds its way when the map is drawn by 9 steady hands. If you have felt restless, it is because the horizon has been moving toward you. If you have felt watched, it is because attention has coalesced around your name like a constellation. If your breath has hitched at odd times, it is because life is preparing to say your name in rooms you have yet to see. Someone close to you will notice the shift before you do, not with words, but with how they look at you. A small kindness will arrive from an unexpected place, carrying more meaning than it pretends to. An old door will refuse to close, and you will understand why only after you step through. This is not about luck, it is about alignment. What the 9 declared acts like a key that fits a lock you have carried for years without naming it. When key meets lock, there is no drama, only the sound of something right opening. You will mark this period of your life not by fireworks, but by the feeling that the floor beneath you steadied and lengthened. The path does not tilt anymore, it straightens. And in the straightening, you will walk with a sureness that looks like calm from the outside and feels like clarity on the inside. When the envelope finally reaches your hand, you will recognize the seal by its quiet authority. The message inside will not be long, because truth does not need to be. It will echo the exact line the 9 spoke, and in that echo you will feel the future take its seat. And when you step forward, do it the way the 9 looked at your photo, without doubt, without noise, with the weight of certainty resting lightly on your shoulders. The world will not shout, it will align. And alignment, once it locks, is the loudest answer you will ever hear. That night, when the city lights dimmed into quiet constellations, the echo of their unified voices refused to dissolve. It lingered like a mark on glass, visible only when the right angle of light revealed it. In every reflection you passed, in every shadow that stretched longer than it should, the weight of their agreement followed you silently. Across the ocean, a meeting room door closed softly, sealing behind it the memory of your photo resting on that long table. Yet the decision they carried did not stay in that room. It traveled outward like ripples that touched distant shores. Somewhere, a phone vibrated with a coded message. Somewhere else, a set of coordinates was entered into a file, placing you at the center of a map you never knew existed. The 9 had not just spoken, they had set a chain in motion. From their words, unseen threads stretched outward, pulling people, moments, and choices toward you with invisible precision. A person you once passed on the street without noticing has suddenly been redirected toward your path. Another who once closed a door on you will, without understanding why, feel compelled to open one again. The air around your name began to shift, as if whispered by currents too subtle for ordinary ears. Even as you went about your ordinary steps, something extraordinary leaned closer, closer, until even silence felt like it was carrying messages to you. Objects around you seemed charged with quiet intention, a door that creaks 1 second too late, a clock hand that drags a beat too long, a stranger's glance that lingers just past comfort. At the edge of your awareness, the messenger with the sealed envelope kept moving. His route wound through streets both empty and crowded, but the seal remained unbroken. With each step, it felt as if the city rearranged itself to clear his path, ensuring that the envelope would reach you at the moment destiny had already chosen. The document still waited, untouched, in the center of that distant table. But documents are paper, and paper is slow. Words spoken in unison by 9 powerful voices do not wait for ink. They etch themselves into the air, into the current of events, into the days that follow. Their verdict is no longer theirs, it is yours. Every morning that follows will carry hints of their unity. You may not hear the statement directly yet, but you will feel its weight in the unusual calm of your steps, in the subtle glances others give you, in the way coincidences will line up without effort. The 9 have confirmed what life itself has been building toward. And when at last the envelope reaches your hands, you will not open it with surprise. You will open it with recognition, as though part of you had been waiting all along. The words inside will be short, yet sharper than any speech. They will mirror exactly what was spoken in that room, carrying the shock of simplicity, the authority of truth, and the gravity of 9 aligned voices. The world does not always need thunder to shift. Sometimes, a single repeated line is enough to rearrange everything you thought you knew. And when you read it, you will know without question that what began in a room of 9 has now become the path unfolding under your very feet. The silence that followed their verdict was not empty, it was alive. It spread outward like a pulse, touching corners of the city where you have never set foot, stirring forces that had been waiting for the signal. That signal was your name, spoken in unison by 9 voices that did not bend, did not hesitate, and did not contradict. Their words were a seal, invisible yet unbreakable. As you walked through your day, unaware of how deeply that moment had already reshaped your horizon, the evidence began to appear. A call you missed was not just a call, it was the first echo of the alignment. A door that opened a second earlier than you expected was not coincidence. It was the world rehearsing what the 9 had declared. Every detail, no matter how small, carried the fingerprint of that unity. Meanwhile, the envelope traveled closer. The messenger carried it as though its weight was far greater than paper could allow. The seal was cool beneath his fingers, marked with a crest that seemed to hum faintly in the dark. He did not rush, because destiny never rushes. It arrives precisely when it is meant to. In the places you least expect, preparations began. A chair was adjusted in a room that waits for you. A lamp was tilted so that its light would fall directly across your face the moment you step in. A nameplate was polished, though it has not yet been shown to you. None of this was random. The 9 had spoken, and now the world was arranging itself accordingly. Someone who once doubted you will soon find themselves repeating your name with respect. Someone who once left will circle back with questions they cannot explain. And someone you have not yet met will arrive with an instinctive certainty that they were meant to find you. These are not accidents. They are the ripple effects of a statement too strong to remain contained. Even in the quietest hours, the air feels charged. If you pause, you can sense the invisible shift, the way shadows stretch differently, the way familiar sounds carry an unfamiliar depth. It is the resonance of 9 powerful voices still echoing, still pushing, still shaping. Their unity did not stop in that room. It is walking with you now, unseen but undeniable. Soon, the envelope will reach your hands. Soon, the statement that has already begun to move your life will be written before your eyes. And when you read it, the weight will not crush you, it will crown you. Because what they said was not a warning. It was recognition. And recognition is the first step of arrival. The clock strikes, and in that moment, something invisible crosses the threshold of your life. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit feels it, the way the body feels the storm before it breaks. The declaration of the 9 has already started weaving through time, linking yesterday to tomorrow with your name etched in the middle. That same night, while you rest, a meeting takes place in silence. A room with no windows, lit by a single low lamp, holds the remnants of your photograph. It lies centered, untouched, yet vibrating faintly as though it carries its own heartbeat. Around it, The air is thick with the residue of 9 voices that did not merely speak but summoned. Far away, a door closes with deliberate weight. On the other side stands the messenger, the envelope still sealed, untouched, but glowing faintly under the dim light. He knows he carries not just paper, but confirmation, a verdict that belongs to you alone. Each step he takes draws the line closer between what you were and what you are about to become. People around you will feel it before you do. A friend may glance at you twice, sensing a change they cannot name. A stranger may hesitate longer when their eyes meet yours, as though something in your presence demands their pause. Even the spaces you enter will shift. Rooms that once felt ordinary will hold a charged silence, like waiting for music that has not yet begun. The 9 voices are no longer bound by walls. They are carried in vibrations, in whispers that arrive in your path disguised as chance. A forgotten letter surfaces, a sudden memory returns, a phrase you overhear matches exactly what your spirit has been waiting to hear. Each piece clicks into place, confirming the path already carved. And still, the envelope waits. It does not rush because it cannot. It will arrive only when you are positioned to receive it, when your steps have led you to the door already prepared for your arrival. Until then, the world will keep adjusting itself, bending events and encounters into perfect alignment. The day is coming when you will open that seal. The words inside will not be long, but their impact will be endless. They will mirror exactly what the 9 said in unison, carrying the same weight, the same shock, the same unstoppable certainty. And in that instant, your path will not just shift, it will lock. The morning arrives, but it feels different. Even before the sun stretches its first light across your room, there is a weight in the air that does not belong to an ordinary day. Something unseen has shifted, something irreversible, and though you may not name it yet, your spirit already recognizes it. The verdict of 9 voices is now breathing in your atmosphere. Somewhere in the city, the envelope moves closer. The messenger does not hurry, yet every step carries intention, like time itself is guiding his feet. The seal remains untouched, shimmering faintly as though it contains more than words, like it holds the vibration of destiny itself. He does not stop, he does not falter, because the moment of delivery has been etched into the rhythm of this day. Around you, signs multiply. The cafe where you pass has a table empty as though reserved without reservation. A door swings open at the exact second you approach, a stranger's glance lingers a heartbeat longer than it should, and a song drifts from somewhere with lyrics that echo the truth already spoken about you. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations scattered like breadcrumbs. The 9 voices are still moving through the world, unseen but unstoppable. Their unity has become momentum, and momentum bends reality. The shadows you step through feel charged, the silence between breaths feels alive, and even the ticking of the clock carries a hidden urgency. You are walking within a script that has already been written, a scene that cannot be erased. By noon, someone who has not thought of you in a long time will suddenly remember your name. Another will whisper it without knowing why, as though compelled by a thread pulled from afar. Even objects respond, the flicker of a light, the sudden gust of wind, the pages of a book falling open exactly where your story is mirrored. The envelope draws closer. It is carried past walls and corners you do not see, but it is moving with precision. And when it finds you, it will not arrive with ceremony or fanfare. It will arrive in silence, the kind of silence that hums louder than thunder. When you break the seal, you will not just read words. You will feel the power of 9 voices collapsing into one sentence, a truth so sharp it will cut away every doubt you once carried. The statement that shook a closed room of power will now open the doors of your own destiny. And from that moment forward, nothing will ever return to the way it was. By evening, the atmosphere thickens. The sky does not simply darken, it leans closer, as if pressing against the edge of your world. Every sound seems stretched, every light carries a hidden glow, and in the space between moments, you can feel something vast preparing to arrive. The 9 voices have not faded, they are still here, woven into every second. In a distant corridor, the messenger pauses. His steps are not random, and his stillness is not hesitation. He is waiting for the precise alignment, the moment when your heartbeat matches the rhythm of the envelope he carries. That seal, unbroken, glimmers faintly as if it knows how close it is to your hands. Time bends toward that instant. Around you, familiar places no longer behave as they once did. A door you've opened countless times resists for a heartbeat, as though testing your strength. A light flickers once, then steadies, signaling silently that the alignment is near. Even the air feels charged, carrying the same statement the 9 once spoke, repeating it over and over without sound. People around you feel it too, though they cannot explain why. Someone glances at you twice, frowning as if they recognize something they cannot name. Another avoids your eyes, not from dislike but because the force around you is too strong for them to meet. Whispers seem to rise from nowhere, as though your presence itself has become a signal. And still, the envelope moves closer. It travels through the veins of the city, carried by unseen hands, crossing paths and distances that have already been measured for this single delivery. When it reaches you, it will not need an introduction. You will know at the moment you see it, because it will carry the weight of what you have already felt in your bones. The 9 voices spoke not to bind you, but to awaken you. What they declared has already been set in motion, and when the seal finally breaks, the truth will not surprise you. It will confirm what destiny has been whispering all along. The night deepens, and with it, the silence grows louder. Somewhere, a clock strikes, and the moment draws even closer. You are no longer walking toward the future is walking toward you.